I was just realizing when you did this before, we weren't doing this format.
We were over there on the side.
In a corner. Look at you, look all trendy.
I like this format.
This is Brian McDaniel.
Right.
He's from TMZ.
Oh, pleasure to
Our
meet you.
celebrity drop-in there.
Okay.
We can talk. That'll be an interesting combo.
That's quite that's nice. Oh, that's nice. Sounded good. Got the good pipes going. Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Jimmy Dore with you. 5 minutes after 5. 55 minutes before the top of the hour. It's a scorcher.
Oh, turn on that music. Here, I'll get us started. So,
Okay.
wait, one quick thing though. Actually, sorry, Ed, I keep saying that. But we do a new segment now called Punch It Up.
Okay.
Did you read it in there?
What do I do?
So what we're going to do, I'm going to interview Brian and you, and
Okay.
then we're for about the first 30 minutes, and
Uh-huh.
then we're going to bring on some new comics.
Sure.
They're going to do 3 minutes for us.
Um,
And then come over and talk to us on the couch, and we're going to ask for your delicious feedback,
Oh,
support,
sure.
tags,
Tag the
ideas.
jokes.
Yes,
Sure. Okay.
yes, you like?
all right, yeah.
And Brian, you too, right?
Sure.
Chime on in. And
You know, I have
Sounds
my blanket advice always in new
Great.
comics.
Okay, don't tell us.
Okay.
Okay, good. So we'll start the music, and I'll take us into it. And promote, whatever you want.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay, cool. I love the voice.
Are we on camera?
We videotape it for YouTube.
Oh,
But
fantastic. That's
just-
great. YouTube's a real thing. I'm on YouTube. It's not you say it like to pretend or something. YouTube's a real, making billions of dollars, owned by Google.
What are you, a salesman?
I'm just practicing. I'm practicing for a role.
Okay, starting momentarily.
When the music starts,
And 4, 3, 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of the FlappCast Behind the Funny, where we find out what goes on behind the scenes at a comedy club. I am Barbara Holliday, your hostess,
I'm Joshua Snyder, and my glands are swollen.
and we'll talk more about that later. We have 2 amazing guests with us today, all the way from TMZ. Please welcome Brian McDaniel.
Hello. Hi.
He's going to do some gossip, I don't know. And then our headliner, Jimmy Dore, is with us.
Hey, my glands are getting swollen.
I'm so excited Jimmy's here. He has a new book coming out, right?
My new book is out. It's called Your Country is Just Not That Into You.
Oh, I've had dates like that.
Oh, really? Well, I've dated the country too. She's not so fun. But yes, the book is out. It was number 9 on Amazon the other day, so I'm very proud of that. I'm bragging about it. But anyway, yeah, should we talk about that?
You can, yes.
Oh, God. What I like to tell people that I don't talk about in the book is that where the title came from is I come from a big family, 12 kids in my family. It's a true thing. And people always say, well, you learn a lot about life growing up in a big family. But you do. I think the biggest thing I learned is I'm easily replaced. And I knew if I died, it wasn't going to put a big dent in their plans. You know, like I couldn't imagine my mom sitting around, oh no, Jimmy's dead. What am I going to do now with just the 11 of you? So, hey, how do you fill the empty 1/12 of your heart? Anyway, so I'm pretty attuned to when people aren't that into me. And in the book, I talk about how the people who run the country aren't that into us. And I don't mean like the government, I mean what George Carlin referred to as the owner class, right? The people who own the politicians and own our news media and everything else. And what they do is they give us a false choice, even in our own government. Like the last election was important, Barbara, because it was Mitt Romney against Barack Obama, right? And if Mitt Romney would have won, we would have got Romney Care, but Barack Obama won, so we got Romney Care. So you see how important it is to vote, right? Because you're gonna get what the corporation wants to give you. So that's what I talk about in the book. And I think the big problem is that the mainstream media has let us down. Like, for instance, Brian Williams, he was on Jimmy Fallon the other night, and he said, you know, I like to play it right down the middle. And I was like, really? I didn't know the truth had 2 sides, Brian. You know, what if you were a reporter in England? They have 3 political parties. What would you do then? Maybe, I don't know, report factually back to us? Anyway, so that's what we talk about that in the book. We do it with a lot of jokesies, and I make fun of, and we make fun of Wall Street. You know what I like to say about Wall Street? Can I swear in this?
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
If I could fuck my wife half as good as Wall Street has fucked our economy, I wouldn't have to go through her emails. So we talk about that.
Wow.
And What else would you like?
I just got it. I just got that. That was good.
thank you very much.
So you have to check on her.
Yeah. Speaking of the mainstream media, we have someone from TMZ here.
That's what I was about to say.
So I'm sorry for hogging the first part of the
No. That was great. That was
You
great.
guys pick on politicians all the time on TMZ, right? You try to.
You know, we do less now than we did.
Oh.
It seems like.
I always tuned in for the political humor of TMZ. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Wait, tell me about that though. You said you used to, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
it did start out that way a little bit.
We
but
did.
yeah.
It was definitely more. Look, when we first started.
Intellectual?
No, I wouldn't say that. No, not that at all. But there was more of a sense of like Barack Obama as someone that we could pick on. In a more
We all love to do
fun
that.
way, and then even like Palin, like they were just great characters to pick on constantly.
Yes.
And then in the last few years, it's just kind of boring. Like there's less. I mean, and it was way.
We need more problems in the world.
Well, I'm not saying that.
Oh.
I'm not saying that. But when Barack Obama was less established and the Jeremiah Wright thing came out, we gobbled that up, of course. And I remember.
Yeah, but what about Benghazi?
I like to say that, Benghazi.
Yeah, Benghazi.
You say it so well, Jimmy.
What about Benghazi?
About Benghazi?
I have an uncle named Ben Cosby.
Wasn't he like...
I like
Yeah,
Benghazi.
No, he was
Benghazi.
good in that Cassavetes movie. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, I was watching Fox News and they said a new report came out says there's nothing to the scandal of Benghazi. You at Fox News say, what about Benghazi? So they just keep saying it.
Yeah, they just keep
Sounds
saying it.
good.
I was directed to watch a clip on there, and the top of their website was Benghazi, and I was astounded.
Oh, I saw a thing on Facebook today. It said, we have a winner, the first Fox host to compare the NFL scandal with Benghazi.
Nice.
It's Elizabeth Hasselbeck did it today. So
Nice.
Fantastic. I love Facebook, huh? Facebook's nice because you get to find out all the different ways your friends are racist. Right?
All the faces of racism.
Yeah, that's what I
right?
like.
I use Facebook. That's what I like.
Oh, Two-Face.
Yeah,
Oh,
you know,
that's a
right?
play on words, Barbara. She's punny.
Wait, how do you get material though? Like, do you guys literally scan like other media all day, or your bosses Harvey says, "Hey, go check this out"? Or
Well, okay, so I don't work for the news desk.
okay,
So I don't.
you're an
get,
entertainer.
Well, no, I mean I'm
you're a journalist.
on the show and I'm on the sports show as well. But I edit in between those two things. So I do post. That's how I initially got the job there.
There's
Doing
TMZ
post-
Sports.
They got
Yeah.
you working hard, man.
Yeah.
You guys have a whole thing. What else is there?
Oh, well, there's TMZ Live.
And
I thought
there's
it was just
So there's
TMZ.
that's an hour-long talk show midday.
that's a talk show.
Yeah.
I thought you guys just did the thing with Harvey,
No.
and then hey, we got a videotape of this guy coming out of the restaurant.
Now
Okay.
that's the sort
That's
of
the
hallmark
core.
television program.
That's
But
the
the
core.
website is really where it all.
TMZ.com.
TMZ.com.
TMZ.com. There are videos up there. You guys got something at Flappers one night.
We did get
The
something. We
guy
got
who
the
did
guy
the
from
weird-
Scandal, the guy
Yeah,
who
he
got Columbus Short.
Yes.
Right.
Did he do time here?
No.
No, he did time at St.
Yeah,
I was gonna say.
set you out for that one. That was good.
One time, do you know what?
Because he kind of claimed
Do you
like
know
he
who
was
we're
doing
talking about?
stand-up.
No.
It was
I have
this
no
guy
idea.
who
I
kind
actually-
of killed his wife.
I told him no.
No, he didn't.
We've all kind of
He
killed
was
our wives.
I told him no, actually. I was hosting that night, and he said, I didn't know who he was. And he said,
Okay.
hey, can I get up for a few minutes? And I said, our lineup's full.
That's
And then I found out
And we
later.
don't want to die.
yeah, I support that.
So, luckily, I'm
I mean-
not, that wasn't stabbed.
He was trying to take his infamy and parlay it into stage time.
Oh, so
Why
that's
not?
why he came here?
Yeah.
Wow, you guys uncovered that for us.
Yeah, well...
That's awesome. Honestly, we just thought he was like a killer, you know?
No, he was on Scandal. He had a really great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, now he doesn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Does everything... So did TMZ ruin him, though? I mean...
It's our fault he put a knife to his
I think
wife's
he
neck.
killed his wife. I think he kind of has a little bit to
Yeah,
it.
he's culpable, I feel like.
Yeah. Didn't you? But you guys reported it, and that's wrong.
Yeah, back in the day, you could threaten your wife.
Yeah, I mean, John
and
F.
still had a
Kennedy-
show.
John F. Kennedy, FDR, nobody knew he was crippled.
I know.
Now, today the reporters, they don't buy, they tell you everything then. I think you're supposed to know everything, right?
I don't know.
Wait, tell me about TMZ Sports, though. I don't really
Tell me
know.
about
What
that.
does TMZ say
No.
about sports? I haven't watched that.
Do you actually talk about the sports, or do you talk about the scandals behind the sports?
It's more the scandals and sort of the Hollywood end.
How would you
what's
find
going
scandals inside sports?
Oh.
I see what you're doing there, Jimmy.
That's really a dry well you're
Yeah.
mining there. How do you guys just rack your brains coming up with stories? What are we going to talk about on the sports scandal hour today? God damn it. We got to hire some extra people to go scratch up some stories for TMZ Sports.
Well, I mean, you're mocking, of course, and you're right.
Yeah.
But I mean, to a degree, sports journalism, not the same way that entertainment journalism did, but sports journalism got pretty lazy around, just taking what the publicists and the famous people said because it's nice to be close to them and that kind of thing. And so things like that Ray Rice tape and Adrian Peterson stayed underground a lot longer and not anymore.
Now,
it is. Go on, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, Brian's a stand-up as well. So he does stand-up comedy. And I was curious if you bring any of that work into your stand-up.
Well, can I ask you one question first about the the Ray Rice thing? Like now I'm on Facebook and all these people are like, well, it's not a beating, it's corporal punishment. It's that they're trying to make. And I'm like, well, good rule of thumb is if what you're going to do to this child, you did it to a grown-up, if you'd be put in jail for it,
Right.
That's stuff that you can't do that. So if you whipped someone in the genitalia, they would arrest you. But if you did it to your 4-year-old, well, they turned out they arrested him for doing that too, which they shouldn't.
Right. Well, I mean, I've seen it. Like George Wallace posted. Did you see when he posted? He said, my parents beat me senseless with a switch, and I love them to this day.
Yeah, that doesn't mean it was right.
I know. That's the thing.
Yeah, my dad punched me so hard I pissed my pants one time. That doesn't mean it was fantastic.
I got hit with a belt and coat hangers and all kinds of...
Yeah, but we're talking about when you're a kid.
Yeah. That's right. That was my date night. Anyway. But, I think... Well,
This Peterson thing has caused a rift, though. You're definitely right. There are just tons of people who feel like it's okay. Like, it might not be how you want to do it. But, well, I agree with you. It's not okay, but
there are a lot of people who hit their kids or spank their kids and who are saying that, I do that too. Should I be arrested?
Well, I don't think you did what Ray Rice did.
Peterson. Yeah, Ray Rice. You should definitely do it.
His wife.
Yeah, I saw Dave earlier. He's you did not do what Ray Rice did.
I saw a lady one time hitting. I was in an airport. You never know when you're supposed to step in and say something. So I was in an airport one time. This lady's hitting her kid, and finally I just go, "Hey, what are you doing? Grossing everybody out? Why don't you stop it?" And she says, "No, make some good people." I was like, "Really? How many punches would it take to make you a decent human being?" Turns out 80. She's a really nice lady now. Yeah, that really works.
You gotta figure it out.
See,
it's like the lollipop. How many licks is you just
can't know until you do it.
Yeah.
Right. But I love I'm going to start watching the TMZ Sports. I like to watch the scandal part of it.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not. You know what? I don't think I'm allowed to say what channel it's coming in. Like they want to make a big announcement.
Oh, you guys are coming out on a.
Yeah. It's going to be on the TVs.
Oh.
Is it any one of the networks we've mentioned so far, which is only one?
No.
Okay, perfect. Well, that helps.
I bet. Why don't they just have a TMZ
Does it rhyme
channel?
with? Does it sound? Is it like an alphabet? Does it start with the first 3 letters of an alphabet?
No.
Okay.
You're never going to find it.
Really?
But do you ever get worried that you're going to be like? Because we all want to be famous, right?
Right. Of course.
That's the whole thing. And but are you ever get worried that you're going to be famous enough that people are going to tap your phone or follow you to the car in the restaurant and catch you farting? You know what I mean? Like farting's not so embarrassing.
Right.
But you know what I'm talking
Has
about.
there been a TMZ farting story that we...
There should be TMZ.
I don't know if there's been a farting story this
TMZ
week.
lingerie.
There was a poop story today. There's a poop story today, but not a farting story yet this week.
I love poop stories.
Yeah, poop stories are great.
Half my act is poop stories.
That's not true. I was thinking you.
A lot of it is about my dog pooping. That's for sure. That's the truth.
It's really funny.
I
That's a great. I love that.
Yeah, literally, I had a vet tell me, if you have a problem with your dog eating his own poop, they have a spray that makes it unappetizing.
I had that. My dog did that. She ate her.
Yes, and did you get the spray?
We did.
And did it work?
She just grew out of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we couldn't really stop her, and then one day
Yeah.
she just quit.
Like, how do you make something that tastes worse than shit?
She has to hit rock.
I like that she grew out of it.
Yeah.
She's with the other dogs going,
Yeah.
I don't do that anymore.
You gotta hit rock bottom, right?
That's right. TMZ sport poop.
Well,
Sport poop. I like
yeah,
that.
sport poop.
Yeah. What else?
You
What,
have to inject it with Gatorade. No.
what other sport? What other TMZ channels are? So there's sports.
Well,
there's
that's a new
the
one.
Talk. There's the
Insane.
talk show.
The live one,
And
and then there's the main show with
Harvey
Harvey.
Levin. Is that his name?
Harvey.
Harvey.
Yeah.
TMZ should...
Buffed.
Wait,
Yeah.
though you started as an editor or post-production, you were saying.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
then how did you end up getting on the show?
So
That's
they
interesting.
brought me in. They knew I knew about soccer, and they had a
Really?
soccer question, and they brought me in. And that particular day, I was wearing a Mexico T-shirt, a Mexico soccer T-shirt, and a red headband, and I had hair bigger than Josh's, and
No way.
yeah, with the headband, like just.
Giving you the soccer gravitas.
Yeah, well, and
TMZ soccer.
yeah,
that's
so
your
I
best
answered their soccer question, and then they made fun of me, as you know they're wont to do.
Sure.
And they're even more wont to do at that time was sort of bring somebody in, mock them for a few weeks, and then kick them off. But at that time, they were also laying into Obama quite a bit, and I was sort of the only person who could hold my ground on the left with Harvey, and sort of carved out my space.
Oh,
that
you're
way.
just
Harvey's not a
brown-nosing
lefty?
Jimmy.
I don't, you know, what he is in you know, I mean, the changing political climate at the time was making Barack Obama such a superstar that in the sort of like takedown mentality of TMZ, we were undermining him constantly.
Oh, okay. All right.
Now,
Well, that's what you do, Jimmy.
I try and I do my best.
Yeah.
I try to certainly punch upward, make fun of the powerful. You know, the thing I like about Barack Obama is that he got that Nobel Peace Prize on day one, you know?
yeah.
And then ever since then, he ramped up the war in Afghanistan. He started bombing Libya. He put a hit on Osama bin Laden. He wants to go back and he's going to start bombing. He is bombing Iraq. That's the thing about those peace prizes. Nobody ever tries to win a second one. Am I right? Come on. Fucking joke. Joke is just sit right there.
Well, it was for his early work.
Yeah, it was for his early work. It really was. Yeah.
His early work as not George W. Bush.
But don't you find it funny? I find it funny that because I come from a blue-collar neighborhood in Chicago and I have a lot of blue-collar friends and I spend too much time on Facebook. But I find it funny that in the middle of the biggest ass-reaming America's ever gotten from the military-industrial complex and Wall Street, people still get mad at people on welfare. Like my brother's like one of those guys.
Yeah.
He goes, all those people on welfare, they're all scammers. That's what he says. I'm like, oh yeah, Danny. They've rigged the system so now they're the poorest people in the state. Oh, those fat cats at the bottom. I'm so fucking angry at them.
You want to know? I saw something amazing that was just like that on Instagram the other day. This guy posted a picture. It was a picture of someone in the military like holding up a machine gun, shooting over a wall blindly, and then the caption on it was, "Tell me again about how you want to raise the minimum wage." I don't know. What do you even say to that? That inspires such anger in you that you want to shoot bullets blindly. Ah! If you made more at McDonald's, that would be the worst thing on earth.
Well, you know, it's funny. I heard a comedian one time do this. He goes, you know, if you're, this is literally, it's a quote. He goes, if you're 30, 35, and you still work at a fast food restaurant, you're fucking retarded. And I was like, it's about time somebody stood up to those minimum wage workers and took them down a few pegs. Am I right? You know how those McDonald's workers walk around like they made it? And they didn't. They didn't, buddy. So it's weird to see that happen. People get mad at the poor, people get mad at the immigrants. And this is the stuff we talk about in Your Country's Just Not That Into You, which is available now at Amazon.com.
Oh!
You guys, it's also available as an iBook. I don't know how to do that, but that sounds painful. Do you guys have a link on your website for Amazon?
You mean to sell products?
Yeah, when people can, so they can get linked through, you know, they click on your box. Watch your mouth.
I like,
But you know what
I
I'm
like it
saying.
when people click on my box.
Right, you know what I'm saying.
Yes,
So
I
yeah,
have
you
lots
make a
of
lot of money,
boxes.
right? They have. I'm sure everybody has an Amazon. I have a.
It's a vagina.
You have an Amazon store, I'm guessing.
I don't know. I don't think I have that, but I just did the Jay Maher podcast. Is that how you say it? Maher? Jay Moore. That's
Moore.
it. And
Jay Moore.
it's Bill Maher. And anyway, so he has one of those Amazon buttons. I got one of them too. You should get one.
Perfect.
Sorry about we're talking about this.
Why don't I put
Well,
your
while we're
button on
pumping
my
things-
box?
Oh, I like that.
What about
I like
that?
that.
That got us.
Hello.
Sorry.
You I just went off to Propecia, and my horniness came back twofold. I'm looking to bang everything.
You do your own podcast too, called
like a
Comedy
kid.
and Everything Else.
Yeah, I used to do that. Now we just do the Jimmy Dore show. That's in
great.
hiatus.
Okay.
Although people still download 17,000 of them every week. It's a very popular show. But anyway, the Jimmy Dore show is the thing I do now. Satirical look at the news. Check it out.
Oh, God.
It's a great podcast. Me, Ben Mankiewicz, Frank Connor from Mystery
I know
Science
Ben.
Theater. Oh, you know Ben Mankiewicz?
Of course I do.
He's Jewish.
Yeah.
Now I have
Well,
to...
he started at TMZ when it started.
Oh my God, he did start at TMZ.
Yeah.
That is right. And then he got the job doing the movie review show.
Yeah.
Taking over for Ebert or whatever.
Right.
And that was short-lived.
Right.
That was 6 months
At
or
the
whatever.
movies, when they revamped at the movies, and I guess they.
Did you know him then? When
Oh yeah, I still do. I saw him in the airport like 6 months ago. He's a great guy. I love Ben.
Yes, and he's funny. He has a very funny streak. People
So,
go,
Jimmy, do you watch TMZ or go to TMZ to get material?
how do you not? Everyone watches. How do you not watch TMZ? I saw Ray Rice knock out his.
Right.
Why? Who got that? That's what everybody saw.
It's a great source for for comedy fodder. I like what I think it raises questions and it's kind of entertaining in a way. And
I was certainly entertaining.
Yeah.
But the fact that they were able to make a compelling television show for so long out of celebrities walking to their car is fucking unbelievable. Right? They were able to edit it together and they get him in like he's in the newsroom and he's putting up shit.
I like how he's referring to it in the past tense.
Yeah.
They were.
Isn't it still?
It's
I mean, you know what I mean.
Wait, do you do that editing? Is that?
I do.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
so
Well, this is what I'm talking about. Most of it's editing, right?
Most of it's editing.
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
mostly
it's all editing, right? I mean, you're the one.
Rick, right? My friend Rick Mitchell, who's also on the show,
We
stands
love
next to me
Rick
on the
Mitchell.
show. Looks Jewish, is not Jewish. He's a producer, writer. He brings things in. I just scrap it all. I just edit it however.
Yeah, I got a question.
Rick, very weak writer.
What's the origin of filming the guys standing around in the room?
The origin,
idea, as opposed to
as a
like
bullpen.
a TV set.
Yeah, shoot the
or
bullpen as.
Right.
It was just kind of so. We were originally at Victory Studios in the Valley. Right?
Oh,
yeah.
it's so embarrassing.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I wish we were still there. It'd be much closer to my house. Anyway, but yeah, so that's just how it's like. The board in the newsroom was how stories were generated every morning, and they decided they were going to make a TV show and didn't really know what the format of it was, so they just started throwing things at the wall, and so they started shooting the meeting, and originally Ben was hired, and there were a few other people who were hired to do more like stand-ups, like this is the story that we had, and they immediately felt like that did not jive with the nature of what was going on.
Now, is that actual room that you
Stand-up.
see them in? Is that the room that they actually do the meetings in, or is it a set
Yes.
where they're pretend? Okay. So
Now,
And it is the real meeting.
Ben Mick was the actual. I mean, he was a real newsman. Had been somewhere else in the country. He did local news, right? Like that was his deal. So he thought he was gonna. I don't know what he thought.
Be a news anchor guy.
I don't know what he-
I don't know. But now he's over at Turner Classic Movies. I love the movies.
Yeah, he had that gig then too. He's had that gig for a long time.
Oh, it's a good gig.
Yeah, it's a good gig.
Oh boy.
Love it, son of a bitch.
That's what we all said.
Is this the Jimmy? What is this voice you're doing?
Sometimes I slip into my morning DJ / car salesman voice. And
I like it.
I like it too. It helps some jokes, certainly for sure. Yeah, I might do my whole show like this sometimes. It might be annoying. Who knows? Maybe it's what I need to take off. Annoying doesn't necessarily mean you're not going to be famous, right?
Right.
Tom Arnold.
But you do have the sunglasses of a famous guy on.
there
there.
you
You know
The cable
what?
guy.
These are my prescriptions, so sometimes I forget that I have them on. So I don't want to be a douchebag.
No. Right.
Hello.
Why would I want to hide
Because
these,
everyone,
right?
everyone listening can see all that.
Oh, that's right. But we're going to be on the YouTube. That's a real thing.
Yeah,
Since
YouTube can
2006, it was invented.
I think we have 5 downloads, 5 subscribers on YouTube.
Really?
Right?
It's all about promotion.
Okay.
You just got
Can
to
you
know
tell
how
us about
to.
that?
You got to cross promote. You got to tag it right. You got to get the right annotation. It's all about that. People go to school. YouTube has a school. They have a school where people go to learn how to
For SEO, that kind of stuff.
What does that mean, SEO?
Search engine
Ah,
optimization.
Yes, that's it.
Technical
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, that's what that means.
Yeah.
SEO. I see it so much. Now I know what it means. Yes, that's for that.
Do you
I
think
want to
they,
be an SEO.
do you think they would
Me too.
videotape those classes and then put them on YouTube? Do you think? Could they do
Oh, they should.
Oh,
good
this is
format.
that was like Kafka-esque.
Well, if you have a good enough editor,
Oh,
that's what I say. If you have a good enough
all
editor.
right, could do.
Yeah. So that's like when I first watched TMZ, I was like, and I haven't thought of a show yet. What the fuck? How come I don't have a show? I have a show of just this. And I made it in the best way. Like they thought of a thing, and then they made it work. And let's get me a TV show. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
I could use a TV show. I have one on the Young Turks Network, actually.
Oh, tell us about Young Turks.
Oh, the Young
Yes.
Turks. Oh, well, they're the
Oh,
largest
no.
online news source in the world, over 3 billion views. Anyway, it's not a big deal.
No big deal.
And so Cenk Uygur is the guy, he's the main guy. Then I do my Jimmy Dore show, gets distributed on their channel and what have you. It's a great, the thing I like about Cenk Uygur is he taught me about the bullshit. You guys do TMZ Sports and you make fun of sports, but it's the only journalism that's actually correct in America, because what they do in America is that, like we talked about Brian Williams earlier, is he'll pretend to give you both sides. He mistakes objectivity with neutrality. You could be objective and say the climate change is a real thing, we have
Right.
to prepare for it. You don't, but what he does is he brings on a climate scientist, and then he brings on a Tennessee senator who says climate change isn't real, and then he goes, look, I presented both sides of the debate, now there is no debate.
Right.
You're supposed to debunk bullshit, not forward it. And that's not what they're doing. He's mistaking neutrality with objectivity. And, the thing about sports, Cenk Uygur always says you couldn't report sports that way. You couldn't say, the Cubs
Right.
played the Pirates last week. The Cubs said they won 5-4. The Pittsburgh Pirates said they won 6-3. Who won? I guess we'll never know. I reported both sides.
Yeah.
But the only thing that doesn't matter is sports. It gets reported accurately in America. The things that do matter do not get reported accurately. And that's what we talk about in the book. Your country's just not that into you.
Is that on
Available on
Amazon?
It's available on Amazon. Rupert
Get the
Murdoch.
button.
People don't
Click the
realize.
box.
People don't realize now. Who is TMZ owned by? Do you know the parent company?
Warner Brothers.
So that's huge, right? Does somebody own Warner Brothers? Right? Somebody owns them, right?
No,
Okay.
they were on the block momentarily, but it didn't happen.
So
It's not Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, am I?
So in 1980, there were 50 giant media companies in
Time
the United
Warner,
States.
AOL?
There were
No?
50 that
They're
owned all
underneath them.
Yeah.
that owned all the media companies in America. Now there's 6. 6. They own all the media in America. And one of those guys.
We don't even know who owns who.
Right, nobody
That's
even
the
knows.
problem.
And Rupert Murdoch is one of those guys that he owns everything. He even bought the Dow Jones, which I didn't even know you could do that. It's like you can buy the stock market. How the fuck? Anyway, and I just picture Rupert Murdoch sitting in his office on a dolphin skin-lined chair, stroking a cat with a diamond-studded necklace, and then he pushes a button that burns a barrel of oil just for kicks. But so he owns most of the media. People say, well, how does that affect me? Well, let's say your country wanted to invade another country that was oil rich. Well, they couldn't just say that's what they wanted to do, so they had to concoct a story. Who do I get to sell it to? Then we got to find somebody. Bang, how about the guy who owns all the media in Australia, Europe, and the United States and England? Son of a bitch, those are the 3 countries that went into Iraq with us, England and Australia, United States. And now you're sitting at home, your house is underwater, your kid goes to a shitty school because we're firing teachers, and you went bankrupt because you got sick, and your government says they don't have any money to help you because $3 trillion is sitting in a hole called Iraq that Rupert Murdoch helped start, and that's how it affects you. We'll be right back.
So now, but isn't this changing a little bit in the internet realm? Because you read about the Comcast guys,
Well, they're starting
right?
to slow down the internet. They're
Well,
going to
the
get rid of net neutrality, which is the thing that
Yeah.
they hate, because then actual information might get out.
Right.
And so they got to stop. They got to slow that feed down. They're going to
Yeah.
slow down the YouTube feed of whoever's saying the thing they don't want them to say.
Well, Comcast is
Mhm.
kind of becoming the owner of the internet, in a sense. Have you
Mhm.
heard this? And
No.
Oh, yes. There's a great article in Time Magazine last week about Comcast. And it's kind of scary because it actually, the guy who originally started Comcast just started a couple TV stations in a local
Right.
market.
Right.
And then it sort of grew and grew and grew, and then they decided
He's that guy who they parodied on 30 Rock.
You know
The
what?
guy who was like the folksy guy.
Oh, that's yes.
Yeah.
Cable
Town.
Oh, Cable Town.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
so now they're, because whether television is going to continue to exist, like even TMZ here is going to the internet, and more people download and follow media
Right.
on the internet. So controlling the internet is
It's
really
important.
going to be our big media. But one person looks like they're going to own most of
It looks like it.
Is that good?
Well, what do you think? I think that's fantastic. You kidding me? Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well,
And his name is, no, I forget the guy's name. I'm driving me crazy.
and that's
Is it Brian? Oh,
that's
shit.
what- that I think
Come
that's
back and
really
tell
the Teddy Roosevelt had to come along. Right now we're living in the new Gilded Age, right? Because we have a bigger income disparity in America right now than during the Gilded Age. In the Gilded Age, remember Mark Twain told us that society was sick with disease, but there was a thin veil of gold dust on the top. And that's exactly what we're living in right now. Half of all wage earners in America earn less than $30,000. Nobody has savings for retirement. There's the biggest income disparity since the Gilded Age, yet corporations are making record profits. So the Americans don't get to enjoy any of the fruits of their labor. It just goes funneled up to the 1%. And, $5 trillion corporations aren't invested. They're sitting on $5 trillion cash, and they say they don't invest it back in our economy because they don't have confidence. And I say, if $5 trillion doesn't give you confidence, I'd try fucking dance lessons. How about that?
Or stand-up comedy.
So
That'll give you confidence.
So that's how all this affects you. I mean, that's really happening right now. And when they say that they don't have money, they're full of shit. They have the money, they just don't want to give it to you. How much is this new war in Iraq costing us? Nobody, did that question even come up? Doesn't even come up. How much is it going to cost us to go fight ISIS? Never even could. But I tell you what, we don't have any money for the schools still have 40 kids per classroom in it. The kids in Ferguson, Missouri had to share graduation gowns, but we got tanks in Missouri. Now we got more tanks going right back over to we got fucking endless amounts of money. They just don't want to give it to you because your country is just not that into you.
Jimmy Dore, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Where's that other applause?
Yes,
Gosh, come on,
right.
Tim.
You know what? I'll tell you.
So much.
People say the big thing you got to, well, Jimmy, how do you fix everything that's wrong? There's two things you got to do.
Yeah, fix it.
When they come to the Church of Jimmy, they say, Jimmy, how do you fix everything?
Because the banks are going to fail again because they're bigger than they were even before they failed that time. So it's really, we're living in an age of amazing crony capitalism. And the guy who got rid of this Glass-Steagall Act, which made all this possible,
Right.
He's for bringing it back. His name is Sandy Weil. He was the head of Citicorp. And he wants to bring it back. And, when that guy says bring back Glass-Steagall, that's like Chris Christie rethinking deep frying, okay? It's time to bring it back. So we got to do that. We got to split up the banks, or else they're definitely going to crash our economy again. And then we got to get money out of politics, right? So and I do that through a group called wolfpack.com. And so they're trying to get a constitutional amendment to get money out of politics. And you have to first get the states to do it. You have to get 35 states to pass it in their state legislature. And then you have to get 2/3 of each house of Congress. Guess what? So they started in New Hampshire, and people are like, you're never going to get this done. They got it done in New Hampshire. They passed it. They go, well, yeah, New Hampshire's a small state. You'll never get a big state like California where they have oil money and defense contractors and media moguls. They just passed it in California. And guess what? In the Senate, they passed it to open debate to have a constitutional convention to get money out of politics. And every generation has amended the Constitution except us. So it's about time we did it. And until we get money out of politics, we can't fix anything. We can't get better schools. We can't stop spending money on wars. We can't get cleaner air. Whatever your issue is, we have to get this issue first taken care of, and then we can work on your issue.
Well.
Yeah, take that, your issue. Your issue. Woo. I like it.
Wait,
I like it.
Wolfpack.com.
Wolf-pack.com.
So this is my question.
Go there and
This is my question. Based on what you're seeing, because obviously you both have been, studying what's been going on. Which post-apocalyptic future movie do you think is going to be? Is it going to be RoboCop? Is it going to be Thunderdome? Which one do you think?
I think it's going to be a mixture of all three. It's going to be Thunderdome, RoboCop, and Mad Max.
Really?
The only thing it won't be is Waterworld.
Thank God.
It may be Ishtar.
I was going to go with The Road, but the book, not the movie.
Oh,
Okay.
Mr. Reader. Rather.
Well, Jimmy Dore.
I like the book Roadhouse. Have you ever seen that? That Swayze could write. Anyway,
Jimmy Dore is performing tonight in our
right
celebrity drop-in show at
It's
8
cool
o'clock.
in here, guys. It's really, it's
We have air
wonderfully,
conditioning.
delightfully cool. It's gonna be cool every day at Flappers.
That was
Tonight we're both gonna be on the show. It's gonna be extremely cold.
Yes.
That was my Twitter last week. Was we have air conditioning?
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I said. Just we have air conditioning. We don't need to talk about anything else.
and we
Just-
are the celebrity drop-ins on
Yes,
the
you
show
both
tonight. So
are.
if you're,
It's so
that's
exciting.
right. And if you don't think I'm a celebrity, I have over 10,000 Twitter followers. How many more? Don't worry. A lot more, probably.
I think 10,001 qualifies for celebrity now. Come on.
Thank you very
Come
much.
on.
I'm wearing sunglasses inside. What more do you fucking need
So,
to know?
well,
I thought those were transitions.
I wish they were. I wish they were. But, still have a penis.
So this is the point in our podcast where we like to invite some new faces, new comics to come up.
Oh, I love new faces.
We call this segment Punch It Up, and
Oh.
they do a little time for us there, 3 minutes or so, and then would you two amazing
some
gentlemen
old faces punch up some new
give them,
faces?
yes,
Fantastic.
but no switches, okay?
No
All right.
switches.
Bada boom.
All right.
Who do we
So,
have first?
First meeting to come to the
Corpus.
stage. Before I do that, so Brian, you're going to put that
Yep.
mic there, and then you're going to replace me. And then the first meeting to come to the stage is Tim Lang.
Yay! Tim. Hey, Tim.
Tim
Welcome.
Lane, nothing tougher than telling jokes to an empty room. So I just want to let you know.
Come on, don't ruin our illusion.
My heart
It's
goes
not
out
empty.
to you. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to say
Right,
that.
right. No, that's okay. They can see.
Well, I do like to start every show by letting the audience know that I can be your friend, or I can be polite to you, but nobody really gets both. But I guess more people know that because of the internet now.
Aha.
I'll just tell myself that. But, so yeah, actually, I'm not that funny. The only reason I really started doing comedy in the first place is because most of my friends, they laugh at the things I say, but then I realized that they were only really laughing at me because I was white. Although, to be fair, I am from Utah, and that is a place where being gay is a phase and meeting a black person is kind of like a Bigfoot sighting, so there is that. I actually kind of need to retire this joke because at the end of last year, they legalized gay marriage in Utah for like a week, which, because who would have thought? Because that's like the one part of the union that's meant to be at least 25 years behind everyone else. And that really pisses me off, because that joke should have been good for at least another 5 or 10 years, and now I need to make up something new. And then I realize that I am like the only person on the planet who does not live in Utah who is actually angry about how progressive a place it's becoming. And that actually makes me angrier. So my life is sad. But, yeah, you guys seem to be laughing more than I would this early, since, I usually start drinking at around, 6. That's when this starts being funny to me.
Yes.
Which I actually had a realization that I should drink less, and it wasn't the thing that, most people go with, because I walked into the kitchen one day, and my roommate goes, "Oh my God, Tim, did you drink a case of Tecate?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's not that weird." And he's like, "Yes, it is. I thought a bunch of big Mexican dudes broke into the apartment, drank a whole bunch of beer, and then left." And I'm like, "Come on, it's not that weird." He's like, "Yeah, earlier in the week you drank a 6 of Mike's Hard Black Cherry Lemonade. I thought a bunch of schoolgirls had a mixer in the kitchen." Which, to be fair, if you drink Tecate, you're not necessarily a large Hispanic person. If you drink Mike's Hard Black Cherry Lemonade, I don't think you're necessarily a schoolgirl. But if you do drink both of those things in the course of a week, you are probably an alcoholic. Just, the odds are good, Although I do like to think that Mike's Hard Black Cherry Lemonade tastes just like a fairy's menstruation. Like if you went down on Tinkerbell or Queen Mab when they were on their rag, just like Mike's Hard Black Cherry Lemonade. It would be so good. I like to think whenever I tell that joke, I ruin that drink for whatever gay men are in the audience. And now it's gone out on the internet, so we did a good thing here today, I think. How much time do I have left, actually? Oh, that is the light.
Hey, Tim! Tim Lang. Hey, bring that microphone in. Come on over and talk to us.
Indeed.
How are you doing?
I'm pretty good.
Thanks. Yeah.
Tim, how did that feel performing to a jury?
How did that feel?
It was not as nerve-wracking as I thought it was going to be.
Really? I would have been nerve-wracked.
Yeah.
You do that last comic standing the first time you went, and there's just like 3 or 4 people sitting there. It's
How long
Yeah,
have you
that's the
been doing comedy, Tim?
It is coming up on 2 years ago that I started.
Oh, look at that.
Early on.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
Oh, okay.
Looks you're interesting because you're sort of a little bit taller and bigger, which might people think you're older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it is also that thing where if I lose the beard, then I look like a giant 10-year-old boy.
That's hilarious.
Really? That's not so bad. So, can I?
You want to start? Go ahead, Jimmy. Yeah.
So yeah, the good jokes. You know, you heard me laughing. Nice work. You're real natural. Yeah, like you seem real comfortable. I mean, on stage. But so just that gay joke about Utah. Like, try to get angry. Like, you know how Louis Black gets frustrated.
Yeah.
So, like, you're a little too disconnected from the pain of it for it to be fun. Because the funny is that you're upset about it. We all know we all know it's a joke, and we're all getting it. But the thing that's going to make us laugh is how angry you are about it, or how you can convey the pain, or whatever it is, this crazy being pissed off about it. So if you're kind of like, you kind of have that same even keel through it, it doesn't raise the stakes inside that joke. And that's my only
Are you gay,
advice.
Tim?
I'm not.
Well, I'm just-
No, I'm not gay.
I'm just
too
asking. I wrote the same note. Angry, be angry. Just that was what was missing.
Oh, isn't that funny?
Yeah. I
Look
literally.
at
So I got that same thing. I'm just not. That's why I asked if you were gay, because I thought maybe that was what is. I guess I'm looking for the reason why, right? Or
Well, and that's
why
one
it
of those
pisses
things
you
where
off.
actually it is really encouraging that it got passed in Utah, because it could, like they're talking about bringing it up to the higher courts, and that could be the thing that on a federal level changes gay marriage in America. So on that level, I think it's more hopeful than anything else. As far
Wow.
as I know.
Well, you are in front of the person right here who can help you make that stuff work. You know, so
Yeah,
please,
that
I'll
was,
show that.
no, that was my advice. My advice was just trying to
That's
make that part. I have a gay marriage chunk in my act that's the quintessential gay marriage joke, so I wouldn't even keep trying.
You know, I did have one idea. Isn't Utah where they do that alcohol club? You know how they don't sell alcohol in bars? Like you have to buy a ticket to a club.
Oh, right, yeah. Is that one of those
it's Utah,
states?
right?
They have so many backwards rules
Yeah,
about
but-
drinking.
North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia,
It
places like
came
that.
to my
like that.
mind that maybe there was a gay, instead, like their transition idea is to have a gay club where you buy a ticket to, I don't know, that just came to my mind. I don't know if you can use that at all, but
That could be.
that's how they got away from liquor. They can't sell liquor.
Oh, I had.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, liquor. I don't even know her. The point
Well,
is.
that was an idea.
Oh, so when you did the joke about the menstrual cycle,
That's like my favorite joke ever.
Yes,
I'm very
so-
mature.
so you just do. I'm not saying that you can't do it. I'm saying that it's got to be worth it. So you got to figure out a way to make it funnier. So like the idea is it's not a bad, there's a funny thing there. I get it. So if you went down on an angel and she happened to be menstruating, what does it taste like? Mike's Hard Black Cherry Lemonade. It's kind of funny. But maybe even the way I just said it right now is an improvement.
Would you
on how
think of
said it.
like maybe leaving that joke and then bringing it back later on as sort of like a callback?
Yes, that's exactly, your instinct is correct. So you could somehow get into a situation where you go down on an angel and she's in her bed and you go, oh, you know what it tasted like? Mike's Black Hard Cherry
if
Lemonade.
you put
whatever the fuck.
yourself into it, that's the difference,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so
It's-
you have to be the guy going somehow, and then you call it back. That would be hilarious. Yeah, see? So there was something there, I didn't deny it.
Oh. Yeah, that does change up the structure. of things.
Menstruate. Can I
Yeah.
just say though, as a woman, because I'm the only woman up here right now, but menstruation is a very weird word. Like, I don't think I've ever said I'm menstruating. I mean, it's just, I'm not sure I like that word.
Yeah.
In a way, period
If a
might
robot
work better.
menstruated,
I don't
I think
know.
that's how they'd say
But
it.
menstruation.
I've womanstrated.
You've
I've done it.
womenstrated?
Yeah.
Demonstrated?
I mean, if
womenstrated?
women menstruate, why can't I?
Womenstrated?
I'll be honest, I've girls
Womenstrated.
strated. I haven't womenstrated.
I don't know. Well, that was just the girls. But I don't know that word. That makes me.
That's like vagina for me. It's kind of gross. I don't want to hear it. Certainly don't want to hear it during sex.
Right.
Stick your penis in my vagina.
Right.
No.
And I'm menstruating. Yeah. So that will
Mm.
just top it off. See pussy. But you know what, Jimmy? If I may,
Sure.
you have this joke about rape that I quote
Oh,
often.
certainly.
No, because it's really amazing. I use
More of a true story.
it as an example. The way that a lot of people will say that joke, you can't make jokes about rape, but please tell
Well,
us.
I make fun of. So there's I'll give you the Reader's Digest version of that guy who said that you couldn't get pregnant if you're raped, right? And that's true, and I know that's true because I went to the same medical school he did in 7-Eleven, and the point is that that goes for all human beings and all animals, right? That goes. I remember when I was a kid, I used to watch The Price is Right, and after every show, Bob Barker would say, "Make sure your pets don't get impregnated, have them spayed, neutered, or raped." You remember that? I don't know. Maybe I'm older than you, but I remember one time I was in college, and my wife and I. We didn't have two nickels to rub together, and we were getting ready to have sex, and my wife says, "Jimmy, I don't have any condoms." And I was like, "Honey, I don't have any money to buy condoms." And she was like, guess you're going to have to rape me." So the point is, so that's the joke. So I'm more making fun of, like, some guy's moronic view of rape. I'm not really making fun of how horrible rape is.
Right.
I don't think.
I just think that's a great representation of sort of what you might.
You
want
can talk
to-
about something horrible or something gross,
sure.
like menstruation, but just find a funny way to do it and say it. And just, there's lots of things that are funny to me in my head, but they're gross when I say them, and then I have to figure out a way that's funny to other people, too. So that's all. But you're right there. I mean, that black chair, you have the right instinct. Do it as a callback at the end. And it's tough sometimes to split your jokes up, but, once you have a lot more jokes, it won't bother you.
Well,
But you're good. But you're very good. You're very funny. I thought you were great.
Oh, thank you very much.
Do you have anything?
I would just say, what they were saying about anger, and you seemed like you maybe wanted to turn it towards hope. Whatever you do to get something sort of emotional and genuine that you're conveying just gives you sort of a stop point, because you're building on the circular logic of how ridiculous it is with the whole Utah thing, right? So if you just keep hitting the beats of the circular logic, then you start spinning around that sort of, course that you're building for yourself too fast, and people know what you're doing, but they don't really have time to process and respond to it, because they're just like, oh, he's just flipping that coin again. He's flipping. Give us a moment to get what's real about you in the midst of this, and each lap you do around it will work better.
And as the identity person that I usually am, I would also say maybe we didn't know enough about you and your point of view when you start talking about issues like that. So that's why I asked if you're gay or not gay. I mean, I wanted to know a little bit more. I love the Utah
I wasn't sure
thing.
about that either.
Right. Yeah. And so I just think that the more clear you are up front about who you are and where you stand, then those things kind of work a little bit better. Those kinds of jokes,
Yeah.
So do you like Utah? Do you not like Utah? Are you against the law? Are you, so anyway, just a little bit more on that line. Yeah?
I like
You guys have anything else?
No,
Thank you, Tim.
I gave it my. I'm sorry.
He dropped
No, that
Jimmy.
was my full.
Get Jimmy a drink
I don't want to talk.
from your liquor cabinet,
I
Tim.
don't want to talk too long. If you
We have
talk
one
too
more.
long about
Yeah.
comedy in a series, so you risk sounding like a douchebag. So I'm right at that point. So I'm being.
Tim Lane, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, we have time for one more.
Yes, time for one more, guys.
Jimmy, do you want a drink, by the way? We can get you a
No,
drink.
I'm
Okay,
good.
good.
Do you want me to just
hang around here, or should I go back to?
With respect, you can.
Yes, with respect, get off the stage. We have time for one more.
Yes, guys, keep going for Mr. Victor Pleacoff.
Victor, take your time now, coming all the way down there. I'm going to sit in the farthest back seat I can and wait till they call my name.
Grand entrance.
Then I run.
All right, cool. Thank you for that. Got a nice little walk here. Actually, before I start, I've been accused of being very vague and mysterious when I talk to people, so I just want to tell a little bit about myself so we're comfortable. I was originally born, and then I grew up, and then somewhere along the line I started doing this. So I'm really excited about where I am right now. Anyway, actually, I was I will tell you something for real. I was watching TV, as you might be familiar, and Star Wars was on, and it made me realize I kind of wish I was living in Star Wars world just so I can be a Jedi, and right before I kill someone, I can go, "You needn't suffer much longer," and just do it. You know, it's one of the things. But I realized though, you can take all of Yoda's lines, and they sound exactly like the kind of thing Christopher Walken would say. Pain, suffering, death, I feel something terrible's happened. Young Skywalker's in pain. Terrible pain. Size matters not. Look at me. Judge me by my size, do you? No! Feel the force. So that's a thing I realized. But speaking of interesting characters, I realized watching the news and I saw the weather guy. I realized if you think those weather guys ever have a problem like leaving their personalities behind in a social setting, you know, they'll be at a bar one like, "Hey Jack, what drink should we get?" Good question, Bill. But first, why don't we take a quick peek at the bar behind us? If you look, you'll notice our bartender Stephanie working on some drinks in the western region. We're going to wait as she slowly starts to drift towards us in the east. To the north, you notice a variety of bottles from Kentucky, New Hampshire, and even some hot action happening down in the Caribbean. But you're going to want to play it safe because they got proofs ranging from the 50s to even the deadly hundreds. So I'm going to recommend something in the 90s. Maybe one of Stephanie's sea breezes, hurricanes, or you might just be in for a plain cold draft. Which is okay, but you're going to want to keep it indoors. Unless you're in New Orleans, then you should be fine. Well, that's the latest for us here at Chilele's Pub. So I realized that. Well, I think the drugs are about to kick in any second now, so I'm excited. This is perfect timing. Well, speaking of which, though, I would love to smoke a joint with Obama. You know, I think he'd be great to smoke a joint with. Maybe you'll like this one. I hope, because you're really intelligent. So I really hope this. Here comes the Obama
This is for Jimmy.
I kind of want to smoke a joint with him because I just love to see him get high as he's coming up with ideas for like things like fixing the price of high gas costs or something. You know, I just love to see him be like, "All right, hold on. Hear me out. Oh, wait. Imagine in America where one could drive a car, that runs on nothing but love. We're gonna do it. We're gonna pass him to a bell. I think that's a great idea. You can call it like the Obama bill, precisely. Now that's what I call a zero fuel emission accomplished. We're gonna put that on a big thing. We're gonna make a banner out of that. Well, that's a good one. We're gonna do it. Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless America. Thank you.
Josh, come on up. So, thank you so much. How long you been doing comedy?
Maybe about like 7 to 8 years.
Oh, okay, great. Are you from LA?
I'm New York originally.
Ah, yes. You have a little Italian New Yorker in you, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes. I was envisioning his Obama impression as an Italian Obama.
Well, his Christopher Walken was really great, but the Obama sounded more like Tony Soprano.
That's
So that would be it. But that's why you probably done that.
You could have fun with that.
But I'm a sucker for impressions. You know, I love impressions. And you have Christopher Walken. If I could do Christopher Walken as good as you did, I don't think I would ever stop doing it. You know, I don't know how people could do impressions could stop doing them because it's so funny. Everything Christopher Walken says is funny. So I don't know how you stop saying it. But good for you for the self-control to be able to not. Because I would still be talking like him if I could do that.
I think you are. No.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, but yeah, so that was great. So you've been doing it 7 years. You know what you're doing. He's not a new face. This guy's a face. He's a medium face.
He's a medium face. What about the Yoda, though? The Yoda has to say, what's the most famous line, Joshua Snyder, that Yoda says?
It's kind of few.
Right.
It depends on...
Do or do not, there is no try.
Yeah. I felt like you needed one, like, real Yoda comment in there. That's all. That was my note. But I don't know them because I'm not a geek. But, right? I'm asking Snyder over here.
Those things that Yoda said, that Christopher Walken said, those were actual quotes, right?
Yeah, sure.
From Yoda?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are.
Maybe it just didn't sound like the...
They did to me.
Really?
I thought
I thought it like, may the force be with you.
Oh, I thought
maybe that's like more popular. Maybe I
yeah,
try to
for
squeeze something
those
that's a
of
little
us who
more
are not
iconic.
as...
Yeah, not so... I'm not...
That's what I'm just saying.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I see your point.
That's-
yeah.
that's
So
what
do
I'm
maybe a fastball down the middle for the people who are casual Star Wars fans.
Right.
Right, that's what you mean?
That's what I'm saying.
The key with you can actually it doesn't have to be an exact.
You have to talk out of the mic.
It doesn't even have to be an exact
Yeah,
quote. The
see,
key, I mean,
Josh would have
the
it
key
up.
with Yoda is just that he inverts his sentences. So that, you know,
Oh, is that
yeah,
the key?
strong with the Force, you are, instead of saying you are strong with the Force. So you can, as long as you know that rule, you could say, you know, you can do anything.
I didn't know.
But yeah, the try or do not. There is that one, and then
Oh, nice. I never did.
Here's
look
the
at you.
expert.
I didn't never do that. Way
Yeah.
to go, Chomsky.
Never knew that, did you?
and actually, while we're on, if
All
we're
things
gonna be
sci-fi.
if we're gonna be
You
really
just wrote to
really
Josh.
anal about your Star Wars stuff, the one
Oh,
the one we were
apparently
saying,
we are.
He's
I want to be.
helping. He's helping.
I want to be like a Jedi, so when I kill someone, I can say, and then the line you said, technically that would be a Sith Lord. Just to be a Jedi wouldn't kill unless if we want to really, you know,
Yeah,
it
so
feels
the people who are going to be upset by that is that you want to lose those people. Don't worry.
Exactly.
Don't worry about
You don't
it.
want those motherfuckers coming up to you after the show telling you how much they like your joke that was completely accurate about Star Wars. You don't want that. You don't want that. See what I'm saying? So
Right,
you
otherwise you'll end up like me. So
yeah, you keep doing what you're doing. That's my advice.
I thought it would be funny. I like the Italian element to you. That I thought it was. I heard it very strongly in the Obama, but I thought if you addressed that, it might be really funny. Like, you know, like I mean, I am Jimmy. What is it? Soprano. Why am I saying Jimmy?
Tony Soprano.
Tony Soprano. Yeah, this is Tony Soprano doing Obama or something. I don't know, but it came out. The Italian definitely came out pretty strong for me. So, and I like that about you. You look so young too. For doing comedy
How old
stuff.
are you?
Yeah.
27.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
young.
okay.
That's why, baby. That's why he looks so young.
Well,
He's 27.
I didn't have a lot of notes either. I liked the vague opening. I thought that was great. A demonstration saying vague and then being vague. That was really funny to me. And it did give me an
I'm
idea.
so stupid. I didn't even put those two things together.
Oh, really?
I just
You
yeah,
did.
I was because the joke
Oh.
he did about I was born and I grew up and now I started. That was funny.
But
'cause
he set
it
up
was
that he was
quick.
vague, yeah.
I didn't even need the vague part.
Right.
I just need the. You don't even.
It's
you could,
true,
Oh, so I
it's
guess
true.
my tip would be
Good.
drop the vague part because you don't need it. So I just go right into people.
Little bit about me,
I want
yeah.
to tell you, people. They say whatever you say. And
Yeah.
then just stop the vague and then
Here
go
I
from
was
there.
born. Yeah, you don't. That's a great note. Actually, you don't have to present.
Because I
it.
forgot that
It's
you even
almost
put,
fun.
and I didn't put those two together, and since I didn't need that first part to laugh, that's the tough part about when you know, a lot of times when you're writing jokes, someone will give you another line or a tag, and then it just kind of negates the half of your joke, but it's such a good line. You hate to lose half of a joke, but you want to do, you know what I'm saying? Does that ever happen to you? You know what I'm talking about? Like,
Yep.
so,
Yep.
yeah. So you don't, extra words are just extra words, man, and you got to cut them. Go ahead, what were you going to say?
No, I had a 4-minute bit that's now like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
But it's funny. So
But
it's
it's-
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
But
it? Mhm. We
yeah,
go
and I
there.
would just say care even less on that vague joke at the top. Like, it's really funny, and if people don't get it, fuck them. Yeah, totally don't. Yeah, care even less
Okay.
about. Yeah, because I think it's really funny. It's really clever.
I think it's funny you brought up the. Also, that's a really great note. I like that because I like that style of just doing whatever you got to do and that's it.
Yeah.
And you said that thing about bringing the Italian thing out, which I agree with you because I think it was literally just recently I was thinking about. I just recently moved from New York about a year ago, so I thought, wow, this is the opportunity to like start writing jokes about like the thing about I'm still a New Yorker. The thing about New York is that you're kind of like this or like that, and I think that maybe this is a good opportunity to now I can objectively start writing about like being a New Yorker and kind of create these shticks and bring that personality out a little better.
Well, I mean, don't. I don't want to give you a gimmick, but I'm just saying, like, be who you are and give
Yeah.
especially when you're doing impressions.
Right.
I think you're trying to speak in the voice of the person you're doing the impression on, but like I think Melissa Villasenor actually does this pretty well. She not only gives the voice of the comic, but tells a joke in the voice of the comic. Does that make sense? Or in the voice of the person she's doing the impression of. So maybe that's just a little note for you to be thinking that way,
I see what you're
right?
saying.
So
Yeah.
there's a joke inside of the impression that's.
I don't do
I
impressions.
see what you're
are-
saying, yeah.
Impressions, to be able to do impression, it's like
It's hard.
it's a magic trick. So there's no way to
Yeah.
understand how people do it.
Yeah.
It's like writing music. It's like there's no way. there's just a thing that happens. So I couldn't begin to give someone advice on how to do an impression. Mike McCrae may be the all-time my favorite impressionist, and I go, hey, can you do an impression of? And he goes, don't do that. I go, no, the guy sounds like, don't do it. Like, you can't describe a sound to him. It's like some kind of a weird voodoo that they have to feel it like a rhythm or something. I don't know how you guys do it.
Like you're gonna taint the perfect paint color that he already has.
Yeah,
his palette.
Yeah. I can do impressions of other people doing impressions, which is not really doing an impression, but I could.
But bring yourself into it is what I was trying to say. With the don't be afraid to give it that flavor. I think, and give a little more of your own take on things, whatever that New York Italian take is. I guess if that's what it is,
Absolutely.
Anything else, you guys? Look at that. They're so talkative, these two. Yeah, Joshua has a note.
Yeah, all I would say was, it was really finely crafted, which was great. And I was sitting there. I feel like the set that you did, if I was like casting, or if I was looking for writers for a sketch show, I go, I want that guy, because you basically gave us. Well, I saw SNL digital shorts, and I saw like a bunch of sketches. But what I think, similar to what Barb was saying, was what I would want to see more of is your emotional truth through some of those. And I think a good stand-up special that I would recommend watching is Jim Carrey's special that he did.
Say Jim did.
Jimmy Dore's. Well, that too. That's not hard.
Jim Carrey's special.
He's good too.
All Jimmys are good.
Well, because Jim Carrey started out only doing impressions, and then he got more personal, and he was using the impressions, and he used his ability to do characters.
No,
but there's one. It's the one where he's wearing the really multicolored '80s sweatshirt. That's the one. But that would be my. But other than that, it was very good.
By the way, my blanket advice to all new faces is get out of the business. So
yes, great advice. Follow that immediately.
We got enough fun comedians. Thank you.
Oh, we got Victor Pleacoff.
Victor Pleacoff.
Victor.
Russian. Victor Pleacoff. Thank you guys for
my pleasure. Thanks for having
giving it
me
up for those new comics. And before we leave, we do want to talk about just a couple more plugs. Like you're going to be here. Jimmy is here tonight, and also
Friday and Saturday 10 p.m. show. Friday and Saturday.
Yes, doing some longer time. You're working on a new special.
I'm taping a new hour special on November 8th. So
excellent.
We're getting ready. Yeah.
Great. So come on down and support. And then Brian McDaniel is here tonight, also in our celebrity drop-in show.
That's right. I'm here tonight.
Working on old material.
I actually am working on old material.
Find out if they're still funny.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. I'm doing the Cabo Comedy Fest in a couple weeks, so I gotta trying to tighten it up for that.
And what is your Twitter and website? We didn't.
My Twitter handle is @Brian F McDaniel. And
F.
Yeah.
That's a special middle initial.
Fucking.
Right. Brian F.
Brian
McDaniel.
fucking McDaniel.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought your Twitter was @Mr.
It was.
Oh. What happened?
It was.
Scandal.
Yeah, no, there were too many fucking underscores is what it was. Yeah.
I have an underscore in my Twitter now.
I had 2.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
2 underscores.
One is kind of stupid, but there's so my name's Jimmy Dore, D-R-E, but you have to put an underscore, Jimmy _ Dore.
Right.
Before it was Jimmy Dore Comedy, which is my website, jimmydorecomedy.com, but then someone told me that takes away from your characters and a retweet or something, and so you should shorten your name on Twitter, which I think is bullshit.
I do too.
Okay.
I think you should use this.
I think you should spell out
But
underscore.
we've had many Twitter conversations. You should fill out the
No,
underscore.
spell out underscore.
Oh,
Jimmy _ Dore.
Oh, that's a great idea. I like that. Oh.
Well, thank you so much to both of you for joining us today on another exciting episode of the FlappCast.
FlappCast.
And
Like us on Facebook.
that's right. And who's in Claremont this weekend?
In Claremont, we have Matt Kirshen.
Fallon
and
Ferguson. Love Matt
Comedy
Kirshen.
Central.
He's very funny from across the pond, as they say.
Yes.
And he has
British.
not headlined in Claremont before.
This
so
is Claremont
get your butts
debut.
out there. 7 and 9:30 shows on Friday and Saturday. And then in
Burbank, we have Dana Carvey,
but
Friday and
it's
Saturday.
sold
8 p.m.
out,
Yeah,
so we
sold
can't
out.
tell you about it. Well, we're
So-
telling you about it, but it's sold out.
Yeah, we're telling you that sucks to be you if you don't have tickets.
Yes, but come get your tickets early on flapperscomedy.com. And
Yes.
don't forget to send us letters here at info@flappers I'm sorry, info@flapcast.com.
Yes.
And we will get back to you if it's the right email.
Correct.
Thanks again for joining us.
And thanks again for reminding me to check info@flapcast.com.
Do that.
Yay, that's fun. That was fun.
All right.
Yeah.
Food, you want some, you guys?
Yeah, you know,
We feed you.
I have some.
Yes, yes. You can take it to go, or you can stay here, or whatever you want.
I'm staying. I have some people
Yeah,
coming
thanks for having me.
to